Hi, everyone, and thanks for tuning in to Radull Live. Today, we're at the RFUEA grounds meeting up with Kenya Rugby Union Chairman Sasha Mutai. Yeah, so I'm here with the chairman of Kenya Rugby Union, Sasha Mutai. Sasha, how you doing?
I'm good, very
First
good.
of all, I've known you forever and a day. I won't tell our behind-the-scenes secrets.
Yes.
Today we're here to talk about rugby and, of course, the development of rugby and where it is going. It's okay, ignore the planes. There are planes everywhere.
Yeah.
So, Sasha, you finally, I'm saying finally because 4 years ago we were like, Sasha.
Yeah.
Just fell short.
Yeah.
Now you are the chairman, you've hit the ground running.
Yeah.
Before we go back, what are the first things you've done? Because at some point I want to go back and talk about your rugby background.
So we've of course restructured the Kenya Sevens team management because we were relegated this season. So things had to change, but the transition has been a peaceful one. As you can see, Damian McGrath, we had a meeting with him, we told him. So he was not really fired. We parted ways and amicably. I believe in that. I'm an arbitrator and mediator as well, so I brought that also into the rugby fold. We put in a new team that we have confidence in. Of course, we also got Sport Pesa to come back because originally a contract was for the World 7 Series, but they believe in our vision where we want to get back to. We have gotten Sport Pesa also to support the local 7 Series, so the National 7 Series is Sport Pesa. And it's running really well, and that's where we're also getting our players for the Kenya Sevens team. We're going to use the local players.
I want us to come back and talk to that a bit later on. Just for people to understand where Sasha the Django and me, where Sasha Mutai came from, because I've known you for a very long time. You've always been in rugby for as long as I've known you, but a lot of people don't know. So what is your rugby background from both schools and college and professional?
So I learned rugby in Form 1 in Strathmore. In 1991, so you can calculate how old I am. So, and I just instantly fell in love with the game. And then in Strathmore, in my fourth form, I was captain of the first team, and of course we were playing Prescott. I was the first captain of Strathmore to captain the team to beat Lenana, which was the best school in rugby that time. I played against
our boys.
Played against Paul Odera. Paul Odera was the captain of St. Mary's.
Of St. Mary's, yes.
Billy Ndeche was the captain of Lenana, and I was captain of Strathmore. So those are my contemporaries. And then I joined University of Nairobi, joined Mean Machine, which was my dream team. And I played
every young girl's dream team, just saying.
So played for Machine. And then I retired in 1999 at the Enterprise Cup final. Actually broke my leg here on this pitch.
Oh no!
September 4th, 1999 to be exact. So my rugby playing career ended then. Also captain Machine on a few tournaments. Our captain that time was the captain of Kenya, Steve Gishuki. And then I was elected youngest director of KRFU that time in 2006. I did 2 terms of 2 years each and left in 2010. And then I was elected vice chairman in 2012 and until 2014. I was also chairman of Safari Sevens, 2012 and 2013. And then I lost an election for vice chairman and I ran for election for chairman in 2017, 2019, and finally got it in 2023 to push this vision that I had. Because I know where Kenya Rugby can get to, can be. And I know I've been part of it. I was the director of Sevens from 2006 to 2010. These were
good years.
Appointed Benjamin Ayimba as well, played against him. When we were in Machine, he was in Impala. So those were my contemporaries. Tuti, Oscar, that was our team, and I was the director of Sevens. So we were all the same age, and we ran that Kenya Sevens team really well. So yeah, my dreams are big for this game, and I've always been since I was 14 years old, I've been in rugby.
Yeah, and it's good that you've played and you've seen the challenges, because I guess, is that where your drive comes from? Because I'm sure as a player there were things you felt weren't happening correctly.
Yeah, the biggest thing for us that time was, the team selection to play for Kenya. I was called up to train, but when you come for Kenya team training, you're put in the wrong position. Yes, there are many good stars there, but you're put completely off. So, and also us guys in Machine that time felt that we were getting to every final, especially in 1999. Lost every final, but got to every final apart from Kenya Cup. And we only had like one player in the Kenya team. So I said, something needs to, we can't be all that bad, but we get to every final and we have very few players. Actually only one in the national team. So I said, we need to come and right the wrongs. So that is actually my reason for running in 2006. It's just to give an even playing field for everybody. If you're talented, you can play for Kenya, regardless what team you come from. So the talents, the best in the country, need to play for the country, because that's the biggest honor for any player is to play for your country.
That should be a no-brainer.
That is it. Yeah. So when we came in, now we had players from all over, because we just got the talent, and it's the easiest way to do. If you get the best talent and put them in the right environment and set it straight, you'll get the results. So from that time, it was also a radical choice to choose Benjamin, because Benjamin was not a yes man. He'd speak his mind, and I also speak my mind, and that is the kind of person that I wanted to lead the team. And I think, when you have somebody who's just following your agenda and saying yes, yes, sir, yes, sir, you have to be corrected when you're wrong.
Yeah.
And that is
why the job
exactly do the job. So, and I believe that the board has the responsibilities to do, and the management team and the coaches and the players have their role to play. So both of us have roles to play for the organization to be successful. I call it an organization because I say the talent on the field has to be matched also with the talent in the boardroom.
Yeah. And I guess as an expert in your profession and your field, you can bring basic management, infrastructure, policies, and apply what you do to have a successful business in sport, because sport is a business as well.
It is a big business. It's huge. It's a multi-billion-dollar business. Unfortunately, in Kenya, it has not been seen like that over the years.
Yeah.
I mean, it even comes from our schooling. We were told, you go to school, get your A's and whatever, go to university, get a good job. That was it. But now, I'm like, sport is a huge business. If you're talented in this, we need to put more emphasis on sport. And it builds the whole person. Sport, and I actually owe rugby a lot in my life. In my business and personal life, rugby has played a huge role.
You also you co-borrow from...
Yeah, and because the discipline is there, the teamwork, because it's all teamwork. Rugby is not about one person. Even if you have a Jonah Lomu, the ball has to get to Jonah Lomu. So everybody over there, the 15 on the field, have to work together. And the coaches, you have to follow the game plan and everything. It's all together. It's all connected. And
Jonah Lomu has to get paid.
Yeah. So So we are thankful now that our partners have started coming back, and that was because Kenya Rugby Union had lost credibility out there with all the infighting and the talks of mismanagement and all that, and they have been played in the public gallery. So what our first job was to actually bring back the confidence, and that we have done, and we are continuing to do. Cleaning up the house, it's a tough process, but it has to be done. Because I tell people, this is, when you have Kenya Rugby, anything with Kenya before it, it's a whole country. So it's not about your club. When you come here on the board, you think about all the clubs, all your affiliates.
Outside
so leave that there. When you're here, you're dealing with the country.
Oh, sorry. Let me just, I think your scarf is rubbing on your...
Oh, okay.
On your microphone. Is that better? Let me just move it down a little bit. Yeah, because it's about professionals coming together for a common goal. It's not about liking. I always say I don't have to like you, but I have to work with you.
Exactly.
For the good of the game.
Yeah, and you have to have one common goal that you're all, pulling towards the same goal, and it's all synergy. So, unity is key. Yeah, you don't have to agree with everything, but you look at the greater good and the greater, you have to actually push in that way.
Let's now narrow in. I know you spoke a little bit about sevens when we were starting.
Yeah.
I know it was devastating when Kenya Sevens lost out and of being on the international circuit.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people had not really followed the game. Everybody's like, why is Kolo not playing? Why are we out? They don't understand transition.
Yeah.
And I also believe we're also going through a little bit of a transition in terms of bringing in fresh players and things like that.
Yeah.
So I know that you had been in office for a week, 2 weeks, and then you're hit with, bam, Kenya Sevens is out.
Yeah.
But how did that whole period make you feel? And did it change any direction you had when you were coming in? Because you were probably coming in thinking, we're on the international circuit, these are the projects I have, and then suddenly, this is a rescue project.
No, it was going to happen. It was inevitable. Kenya has just lost. We managed to survive just by the skin of our teeth the last couple of years. So it was just because of that lack of investment in that team, and it shows. So we can't blame the players and all that individually. The whole system failed. And of course, we've heard about disciplinary issues and all that. And all that comes down also from the top.
Yeah.
We have been working on this before even this happened. Even before I came in as chairman, I'd already talked to the management team. And they told me the issues that they were, facing, including training facilities and all that. And at that point, even before I came in as chairman, I'd also discussed with the PS of sport at that time, Jonathan, about helping Kenya Sevens get a proper training environment. So government was very good to us, and they gave us Kasarani as a facility for us for the training camp. Residential. So that helped.
So also, at the Kenya Academy of Sports for a while.
So government has been very supportive to us, and they've helped us also with the Bathurst Cup and with the World Rugby Under 20 trophy. So government, I want to give a lot of thanks and praises to the Kenya government, the Ministry of Sport, that they've actually,
for the work I did for them, but yes,
for rugby they've done quite a bit and helped us, and we've told government we want to be also self-sustainable. When we were on the board before, we really didn't rely on government money, and we are very confident that we'll have the private partners coming back to support rugby, so that can free up a bit of money from government for other federations. We have asked government officially now for 50 acres at Kasarani to build our stadium and a high performance center, and it's moving in the right direction, and hopefully soon we'll get a lease for that. And we also have partners out there who are looking to come and partner with us to build that facility, because Kenya Rugby Union is a subtenant of RFUA. I've talked about it before that yes, Kenya Rugby Union only has, right now if you looked at our accounts, we only have 15 million shillings worth of fixed assets.
Oops.
Yeah, so we are subtenants over here, and and getting our own facility where we can we can call it the home of rugby, and project 15, 20, 30 years ahead is key for us. Also to negotiate, to develop our own facility, a modern facility. We need that. So we should be able to get that lease this year, and we can start on the master plan and everything next year, and actual construction of the facility.
Fantastic. Will that be under the Kenya Academy of Sports? Because I know they have 200 acres.
So there's a 1,000-acre master plan outside Kasarani, which I think is over 300 acres. And sports federations were to get land over there. But of course, government needs the federations to have a plan of how to develop. What are you going to do if you get this land? What is? So we have already shared with government our plans, and now we are getting in our partners so that we can do a proper document, a development plan.
Will these be foreign investors as well? Because
yes, it's local and foreign. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, because it's a business plan. I've been involved in some of the largest projects as a quantity surveyor, like the Two Rivers, Sanlam, Windsor, all that. Property development. So I've always been thinking of how we're going to build our stadium. So we are going to form a special purpose vehicle that will develop and run the stadium for a number of years, and after that the partners can exit. But it's proper business plan on a master plan on how to develop that land.
Because then we can also begin to bid for like a leg of a 7th circuit if you have the proper infrastructure.
Yeah, and this tournament that we had, the World Rugby Under 20 Trophy, was key. And World Rugby were quite impressed by our organization of the tournament, global tournament. It ran perfectly well. And we also faced some issues because we had the man-to-man there. But we had no incidents. And still we pulled it off because we have a dedicated team who have run tournaments before. You remember Safari Sevens? Even I said the largest one was in 2013. On the weekend of Westgate, we had Safari Sevens 2013, and we still had 48,000 fans who came to the stadium. So we can definitely get 60,000 on 2 days for rugby. So we want to revive Safari Sevens. So Safari Sevens this year will be 17th to 19th of November. We are still, finalizing the location. But yes, we are going to get private partners to run that tournament. With our expertise as well from the Kenya Rugby Union. So it's going to be very commercial. Because that's how you have to go. We are very busy as a board trying to spread the game around, build the national teams. So tournaments and all that, it's going to be too much work as well. And we don't want to spread ourselves thin. Ours, we have a product. We want people to give us a proposal, how we can both make money. And we set it out. So we have to concentrate on our core business, which is rugby.
Which is playing rugby.
So
because as we try to get back into the international circuit, you also have to have a very strong local circuit.
Yes.
And I think there was a year or 2 years we didn't have the local 7th circuit.
Yes.
This season it's back.
It's back
vibrant.
In a bang. Very vibrant. Yeah. I'm very excited. So when people are asking me, hey, how sure are you of getting promoted? I said, yeah, we are quite confident. We are quietly confident. Of course, we have the Africa Cup in September in Harare next month, which is also the Olympic qualifier. The team is already training. After this weekends, we want the players to be called from their teams. So we are asking that clubs release their players so that those players can work together as a new team, together with the new management. So we brought in Blink, Kevin Wambua. We have also Steve Sewe, who was the team manager, and Mike Friday and Paul True. So he's a hard taskmaster. So he's already whipping guys into shape.
Wait,
and because
Friday
we have to run.
Back for?
No. So we have Steve Sewe, who was the team manager, and Mike Friday and Paul True. But we also have Chris Brown.
We hear Mike Friday and we get excited.
So we have Chris Brown, who is coming in as a consultant, strength and conditioning.
And he worked under Mike Friday, I remember.
So he was Mike Friday's, and he ended up also coaching the US women's team. He's now based in South Africa, so we have World Rugby also sorting out his payments on behalf of Kenya Rugby. So we're having him as a consultant. We have Andrew Amonde now as strength and conditioning. So now we are using our players, our retired players who are in the system, who've played at the highest level, and now we are bringing them in and gone through that.
I had Amonde, and he was going through coaching as well.
He's coaching, and he's also with KCB. So we want to use our talents that we have so many that we have discarded before, and I'm saying no, those. We invested a lot in those players. Now, once they have retired, we need to bring them into coaching, administration. You need people who have been through the system, who know. Not every good player will be a good coach. So we have to choose where they are. Or, one can be in defense, one in attack, another one is in S&C, others can be in management. So we want to use those resources that we have there.
And finally, an office that can be trusted, because paying players, paying coaches has always been an issue. And I guess now corporates know, open for business.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, some of these partners that are coming in, we've worked with them. in our private capacities out there. We also co-opted new directors onto the board who are well known in corporate Kenya. So that also brings the confidence back that your money is safe here. And what I've also said is we have committees, subcommittees that are actually in the Kenya Rugby Union Constitution. So partners who come in, we have said we will give you a slot in the committee, so you actually see where your money is going. So and all our budgets and everything are very open. When we are telling our partners, these are the costs, we share with them everything. Yeah, we share with them everything because we want this talent developed. Yeah. So our partners and sponsors will also sit on committees. If you come and sponsor the Kenya 15s team, you sit in the committee with the director in charge. So it's very accountability. There's nothing we're hiding. It's very open, and we have nothing to hide.
Women's rugby. Let's talk about that a little bit, because I feel we are still a little bit neglected.
Yes.
Through no fault of your own. I mean, if you don't fix the men's game, it's so hard to fix.
But the women's game already, with the management that we have there, they've gone over and above the call of duty.
Absolutely.
Some of them are even using their own money. The Kenya Rugby Union has serious debt, and we plan to to fix that problem when we start the Super Series, because we're going to privatize that. So those are assets that we have. We're going to have 6 teams spread all over the country, and we want investors to buy in. So this will not be amateur clubs. There'll be professional sides. So we're going to start professional rugby here. So the uptake from that, we shall use 25% of whatever is paid in that will come to Kenya Rugby Union, and that will be used to offset all our debts.
And then the women's game.
And then the women's game. And of course the Super Series will also have women. Because now in Africa we are competing against the Springbok women. They are first and we are second. So Kenya Lionesses qualified for WXV3, which will be in the UAE in October. So now we have the Kenya women playing on an international platform. We'll be playing against teams like Fiji and Ireland. So these games will be televised globally. And the women have done really well. You know, we even have 2 women playing in Japan. Some people don't even know that. We have, our women are really talented, and now we're investing in them. And the coaching there, with Dennis Wanja and Pau, really doing a sterling job. And yes, we also have the Olympic qualifier in Tunisia in October. It clashes with the dates for the WXV3. And we've also told Africa Rugby and World Rugby, because of the numbers that we have. But we are quietly confident as well that we can win over there. So we're investing now more in the women. And now because they're on an international platform, it will be now easier to get in a corporate sponsorship for that. And we also have now 4 women sitting on the KRU board. So yes, so we are very gender sensitive.
Of all federations, of all unions, I think KRU is always, you had Sylvia as a female CEO for the longest time. So I think you've been giving women positions, which is
and they're not token. These women are qualified. I mean, even Harriet Rokach got the highest number of votes during the election. So it's not tokenism. This is serious, and they bring to the table, because we've brought in the co-opted directors. We've brought them in for specific reasons, whether it's PR, also representing referees, and then, so.
You go get our coach back from UAE. the women's team, UAE is one of us.
So we are working very hard on that, and we're looking at the women qualifying for the 2025 Rugby World Cup. So of course it takes a concerted effort of private sector, government, and ourselves as a federation to push this agenda forward and to invest. It's all about investment. The talent we have, and you can see that also in the local 7 circuit we have 3 tournaments with women, and again this is the first year we have girls 7s in the nationals, and next year we're going to have 15s for girls. And you could also see the Kenya women under 18 team in Trinidad and Tobago on the Commonwealth Youth Games ended position 4 and beat Wales, which is a superpower in rugby globally. So a few things have been done right, and we have to do more.
15s.
Yes.
15s, we are always almost. When are we getting to the World Cup?
Yes.
We're always almost.
Yeah, so
there.
15s, again, 15s, the Kenya Simbas, it's a huge investment. And we are sharing the numbers with our potential sponsors because we also need to play in the Currie Cup next year. We need to start the Super Series again next year before the Currie Cup. We need to play test games with other countries that are higher ranked than us. And when you're dealing with a huge team of, at minimum 35, with a big management team as well, it's expensive. It's expensive. When you show the partners what it costs. But we're not just looking at cash. We're looking at in-kind partnership and sponsorship. Things like gym training, equipment, nutrition, all that comes, analysis, all that comes into play. It's a big, big, big cost. Even now, flights. When you're talking about flying 40-something plus people to South Africa or to other nations, it's big. So we're looking at partners, whether it's an airline partner, a nutrition partner, all these kind of partners to come in. We have also co-opted a director who is probably one of the top tax consultants in the country, Cairo Thuo. Now we want to unlock the tax potentials that are there in sports sponsorships, and that's why we purposely put him in, and he's well known, and he sits on a number of boards, so also that brings the credibility in, because that is what we were lacking. If we looked at the amount of sponsorship that came in the past few years, is minimal compared to what is required. But I can say we have been punching way above our weight. The investment has not been there, but we have to put that in, and we have to right the wrongs that have happened, and we're very open and saying yes, a few things went wrong in the back, but that's in the past. We're looking at the future. We are very ambitious, and we have a plan and a strategy. This is not just out of a pipe dream. It is actually structured. We have thought about it. The numbers are there, and you can see with the talents that we have, once you put them in proper program, we are going to be there. We are definitely, and I've said it before, 2027 Rugby World Cup for men, we need to get there. We need to be able to beat Namibia and Zimbabwe, who are our biggest. We beat Zimbabwe comfortably this year in Nakuru. But Namibia is our formidable foe in the senior men. And we have to have a plan to beat them, and the plan is there. We have Jerome Pavata, who is a very highly rated coach, and he's now with Kenya, and he's promised. I have to give him, and the board has to give him what he needs, and after that, they will sort out the rest. So we will do our part as the Kenya Rugby Union to get those resources that are required, and I have full confidence in our team. We'll do what is needed to get to the World Cup.
Development programs. I know we had the Bartes Cup, which was the under-20s.
Yeah.
What does the structure of the development program look like? Because I guess that needs to start in schools.
Yeah, so we had our development conference a couple of weeks back, and now we have our plan on how to get rugby through primary school and high school, the Kenya schools combined, which has not been there for years. So next year we're going to have the Kenya schools combined, which is now high school students. Getting rugby in primary schools. The plan is to have 3 teachers in primary schools that are targeted, because we have the different stages of, once you get the players, kids to start the game, where it's not structured. They just need to know to, the ball, whether they're passing in front or behind, it has to be fun. And after that, for 2 more years, it's structured. So we have 6 to 8, we have 9 to 11, then we have 12 now, when it becomes more competitive, now with rules. Because they have to try, they have to, stay in the game and now play the game, play and stay. So that player retention has to be there. So we already have a formula for that.
So the coaches need to be in place.
Yes,
as well.
So now we have to coach. The KRU will come and coach the teachers. So we are now engaging with the Ministry of Education, that we can target 3 teachers in the targeted schools who will learn the game and impart those skills to the students. And on development, our plan is now to get the private schools and public schools together. So on our development committee, which is also constitutional, we have a director of development, Dr. Ochieng Ahaya, We are going to now get a sponsor for the schools program to sit on that committee. We are going to get a representative from KSSSA sitting on that committee, get a representative of KPSSA on that committee, the primary schools, that's the public schools, and also a representative of KAISO, which is the Association of International Schools Sporting Organization, to sit on that committee. And we shall have patrons, Rugby Patron Society. So Rugby Patron Society are now, I even had a meeting with them yesterday, we are formalizing the engagement with the KRU for development. I have been in the EXCO of RPS, Rugby Patron Society, but the programs are mostly in Nairobi. And you can see a number of the players who even play for Kenya have come from the slums and all that, but from Nairobi. And I'm saying now, let us use your networks.
From Kakamega.
Yeah, so countrywide to get them in. So it is very targeted.
Yeah, the talent is everywhere.
It is, and we are formalizing all these engagements that were before quite ad hoc, now formally into the KRU. And that will, and of course, I think that will also be self-financed, because there's no easier way to get money for kids, because you have parents involved. Parents are CEOs of companies. They're seeing their kids. There's a plan now of how we
and
can
the products
get, and the product is there, and it's so the products are there.
The cocos and the
whether it's milk and the yogurts and all that.
Whatever
exactly.
it is, yeah.
Yes, and it's fun, basically, yeah. So the plan is there, and the engagements have already started.
I have hope.
Yeah.
I'm excited, Sasha. You've covered everything, literally, and done your homework.
Yeah.
World Cup. We're coming for the World Cup.
Absolutely.
We're coming for the World Cup.
So you could see that there was a rift in class between the Zimbabweans and the Kenyans.
Yeah.
And that is because Zimbabwe has a very good age grade structure. And now that is what is going to happen in Kenya. And we are going to improve on that. Definitely.
What message do you have for the fans? I got so annoyed during that day because the under-20 team, and I don't know if you noticed this, the way they walk around and people clap for them? They reached halfway and people were like, no, the fans are just dismissing them. And I'm like, you don't know what these guys have gone through.
Yeah, they have done really
just
well.
To do what they did.
Yeah, because also lack of resources, the
patience,
training time.
guys.
If you look at the Zimbabwe team, if you look at probably about more than 12 of them have played together over the years and different age structure, under 16, under 18, under 16, under 14. Our players, I think only 4 had played together last year. So, as I said, patience. Rugby is not about miracles, it's about the hard work. In sport, nothing comes by, just by accident.
In life.
And in life. And especially in sports, everything is seen on the field. Somebody has been putting in hours and you haven't. Within your own team, you'll be found out.
Yeah.
That's a good thing about sports. You have to put in the hard yards. As Mike Freddy said, the yaka yard. You have to put in the hard yards. It's hard work. And after that, you get the results. So we are putting in and getting the resources that are required. And believe me, it'll be very easy and nice to watch Kenya play again and dominate. Because that's what's going to happen, I can assure you that.
Yeah. This year I'm happy, next year I'm happy, the year after that I'll be like, Sasha, you know what you told me?
Yeah. No.
But I'm confident. No. I'm confident. At least in the people, you've mentioned so many people who've been in the game, who've experienced the game, who have been hurt by the game, so they only want to see it succeed. So I think that's fantastic. I just want to say thank you, man. I've enjoyed this conversation.
Thank you very much.
Have you been in office 100 days yet?
It's now 4 months. Yeah.
It's almost there. Yeah. But I'm encouraged. And I just want to tell everybody, be patient. Things are, people have listened to you. You've said it all. So thanks for
and just support Kenya. Come for the tournaments. It's going to be bigger.
7th circuit is on. Yeah.
Safari Sevens is back. We have Victoria Cup. We are playing Uganda.
Oh, yes.
First weekend of November. So after the Rugby World Cup final, there's a full rugby calendar. Yeah, and more rugby needs to be played. So even with the international schools, we're saying, yes, we're going to now select players for Kenya from whether it's international schools and from the public schools.
No discrimination.
And of course, and we're already in talks with private schools also for their facilities, where we're going to have our high performance camps. So we are working. This is a full-time job now. So we are hard at work, and the Secretariat and everybody in rugby has been working really hard. So the good thing is, even against all adversity, when no payments are there, I'm saying even the coaches were putting in their own money. and of course now they're being reimbursed and all that. But that just shows the passion that they have, and they will be rewarded. I can assure them.
And I mean, you said we borrow infrastructure and facilities from private schools.
Yeah.
I remember being in South Africa. It was actually in 2009. We were going around the World Cup stadium that was being built. But what struck me is even the schools have top level facilities for rugby.
Absolutely.
South Africans are crazy. You know, when people think we can never beat South Africa. We need to put the investment they have put, and it's going to take years and commitment.
So also we are now talking to a company, ATC, to get the rugby posts into schools. I went to St. Peter's Mumias in March and watched Koyonzo against Kakamega High School, and they used football posts with wooden posts tagged to them. Oops. So I'm saying, no, we are going to get rugby posts. We are going to get rugby posts to schools, and we already have, I've engaged with all the RDOs in Kenya, the development officers and teachers in schools to get me the list. So right now we're on about 170 schools that will get rugby posts. But this is private initiative, and that will be CSR. So we need to get that infrastructure there, because the schools have grounds. Now it's to put the posts. Yeah, so the plan is there, and we've been in talks.
Thank you. Thank you, Sasha. For once I have hope in a game in a sport in Kenya. But guys, this is I was speaking to Sasha Mutai, chairman of Kenya Rugby Union, and you've heard about his plans. I have nothing more to say. But thank you for being on Radull Live, and guys, thanks for watching. And when you see the players, support them, tafadhali. These guys work so hard.
They work hard,
Yeah, but he's doing the work behind the scenes. They'll do the work in front of the scenes, and we'll see it changing. But thanks for watching Radull Live. We'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.